Niggas, is you with me? My bitches, is you with me? If you got a problem, come and get me. Y'all know my name. You see the candy paint, it spell my name. Swizzy, Swizzy, top down. I'm just getting my hood on. I'm just doing my thing. I told you I'm just doing my thing. Get it right on my top down. Hey, I'm talking to you. It's like bum, 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 bum. You know the block is bumping. Fingers on the corner, man. You know the block is bumping. Speakers in your trunk, shit pumping. They playing my song, people is jumping. Now we got a little block party, y'all. It ain't nothing but Benny and Bacardi, y'all. Sitting on the stoop, on the milk crate. How you living life?
Welcome to Taipei! "欢迎来高雄。
欢迎来桃园。
冠军的姿态，夺冠，不管一切之外，热血一起纯真刻在，落后就换到发出来，就在冠军的姿态，夺冠，不管一切之外。
Hello， 现场所有乘客、球迷朋友们，大家好，我是一博。
Hello， 大家好，我是人气 MC 若彤。
感谢各位乘客以及富邦勇士的球迷，在今天呢冒雨前来支持台湾篮球的盛事 ，P.LEAGUE 冠军战第2战。
是的，没错。今天呢，飞行员也需要大家满满的能量，我们要喊得更大声、更卖力的应援，好吗
？That's right。今天呢，我也看到很多小球迷来到现场。那当然，今天这个日子要让我们一起喊一下，准备好了吗？3、2、1 ，6、7！好，6、月7号，轻松一下。等等呢，我们要一起来帮领航员加油。希望1楼的、2楼的朋友都准备好。等会我会带领乘客席以及非人席的朋友，乘客席、非人席的朋友要跟我一起喊。
是的，然后我们的跑道席以及航下席，还有2楼的塔台的朋友们，等一下也要跟着我一起大声的喊 Let's go Pilot！
好的，大家准备好了吗 ？You guys ready? Let's go Pilots!
Let's go Pilot!
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 Everybody make some noise! 非常好，相信大家都准备好今天的冠军战了。好了，比赛开始之前，让我们欢迎客队台北富邦勇士。
首先为各位介绍今日来访客队台北富邦勇士篮球队登录名单：0号赖廷恩，3号林俊佑，6号吴永胜，8号周桂宇，11号洪海杰，14号蔡文成，23号 Number 23 Jonathan Najapuk 强纳森，33号 Number 33 Stephen Yankovic 杨科维奇，88号曾祥军。先发5人 Starting 5，1号 Number 1 Muhammad Anbar 莫巴耶，4号陈佑伟，10号 Number 10 Archie Goodwin Third 古德温，12号林志杰，55号 Number 55 Michael Oliver 霍立辉。教练团体能教练郑维轩，助理教练林伟浩、程立焕、梁兆轩，教练吴永仁，总教练许敬哲，总经理叶宗敏。
来，再来一局。
桃园璞园领航员球员名单。吹背号5号，蔚蓝喷射机飞进你的心，欧文陈将爽。吹背号1号，禁区爆竹篮板先知穆斯塔法蒂恩迪。吹背号3号，桃园战神帅气小神陈立胜。吹背号10号，坚持到底漂配男子汉林明伟。吹背号13号，空中飞龙禁区龙卷风谭杰龙。吹背号25号，你的护国神阵领航不倒翁雷震。Number 24，吹背号24号，喷射推进器桃园哥哥吹背号 Green。吹背号6号，夺冠 X 因子偏跳大师关达拉梅拉关达佑。Starting Five 先发5人名单。Number 31，吹背号31号，篮下堡垒禁区装甲车威廉 Artino。吹背号12号，你的桃园彭于晏篮球贵公子李佳卡。Number 21，波浪咖啡3分王 Alec Brown。吹背号30号，控球魔术师神奇小白白耀琛。桃园全场最大的尖叫声。吹背号69号，全城的希望狂野 MVP 野王69卢俊祥。欧阳无语开放生彭立珍，体能教练刘后少，体能教练刘年杰，助理教练寇焕伟，助理教练唐伟杰，助理教练陈世杰，助理教练黄启峰，助理教练暨球员发展总监杨一峰，总教练 Caminos， 副领队黄少恩，副领队陈信安，欢迎双方球员。
Since a couple key athletes died, that's why I'm rapping like I had to revive. The mixture of magic and MJ passion. Getting the way it's gonna be tragic as MJ passing. With ears like DR, the CPR, the game and never breathe its last breath because we are.
全力求胜，但是务必保护对方球员。Tell the player to protect each player of each team. The safety of the player is the most important. 第二点就是教练在跟我们沟通的时候，麻烦就是学习理性一点，理性的沟通。We communicate, try to be nice, more nice. 然后再麻烦教练回去管控好 bench 的教练啊球员，让他们管控好自己的情绪 control the behavior and the emotions from the bench. 对，然后当然祝大家有好的表现，然后再见。有没有什么要建议的吗 ？Any suggestion？ 好 ，OK， 加油，加油，
Take them to the cleaner, plastic bag on them. I ain't like y'all.
Good afternoon, fans, wherever you are, however you're streaming. We ask you to please pay attention to the screen right now as you are watching the 2026 Plus League Finals all in focus. The skies have opened up for heavy rain, but the stage is set once again here at Taoyuan Arena for game number 2 of the finals between the Taipei Fubon Braves and the reigning defending champions, the Pauian Pilots. As we take a look here at Taoyuan Arena, as well as this season's shiny new trophy. As we take a look at tonight's play card, we have ourselves a 5 o'clock tip-off. The Taipei Fubon Braves did what no other team could do this season, and that is beating the Pilots in their home turf. The last team to do so was back in April 1st of 2025 against the Kaohsiung Steelers. Game 1 was truly a match that neither team took control of, and we witnessed 57 lead changes, 22 times that they were tied. As we take a look, the Taipei Fubon Braves having to play a 4-game series against the TSG Ghost Hawks, while the Pauian Pilots awaited with bated breath for the finals. On our Mandarin broadcaster team, we have Huang Congcao, Jason, as well as Zhengda University head coach Chen Ziwei. My name is Taylor Chen, here with me, and the Plus League English broadcaster Ryan Chen.
Good evening, Taylor. Good evening, audience. Well, game 1 was an affair that saw very low scoring, and we expect that to change up here in game 2. It was kind of an anomaly, but both teams started showing their hands, and now adjustments and counters will be made, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was saying, 22 times that they were tied, so neither team was able to quite create separation in the entirety of the game. But we did see our first Plus League, first ever finals game 1 OT. And as I mentioned before, the Braves narrowly escaped with a W, so it's up to the Pilots to respond and to do so quickly before they hit the road.
in back-to-back finals, the Taipei Fubon Braves able to take Game 1 in Taoyuan Arena. And in big part thanks to Archie Goodwin, who had 30 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and was good enough from the free throw line, 11 of 15. Also, credit to him for very good defensive effort in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter in overtime. He had a shout out for Beast Lin Zijie as the Taiwanese greatest of all time, slated to retire at the end of this series. And Archie Goodwin, we spoke with in the pregame. He's the only import that has been with this Braves team from the very first game all the way back in the East Asia Super League till now.
We all know what Beast means to Taiwan. Just the basketball as a whole is the best player to play, the best Taiwanese player ever. So we don't really talk much outside of basketball, but it's a respect level I have for him for seeing what he's done. I've done my research kind of, so I've seen what he's done, seen how successful he played in the CBA. And the success he's had here. So it's more of a respect thing for what he's done for the culture and wanting to help him go into retirement the right way. If anybody that can go into retirement as a champion, they can't take that from you, and that's something you can always remember. And for me, being my first year here, if I'm able to make that happen for him, that's going to make it 10 times better for me. I'm always a big team first guy. Seeing that these guys lost the championship last year to the same team, just being able to be a guy that can help get them over that hump, it just means more to me than just me winning, because it's for the whole organization. And especially for Beast being his last year, I just want to have him go out the right way, because he's a great person, he's a great teammate, and I think that's just the best way to send him off.
Ryan, you talked about Archie Goodwin being the only import player to have stuck it through the entirety of this season. Now he's talking about that there's way more weight to this particular finals, as this is in fact Beast's last dance.
Yeah, Archie Goodwin, an incredible arsenal of dribble drive moves, and then the three-point shot, when it turns on, he's unstoppable out there. And the Pilots were given a great effort. Goodwin only had 1 field goal made in the first half, but he was the scoring focal point for the second half. He's also flanked by their starting point guard, Chen, who had a good scoring game as well. So the Pilots will have to make their counters on their side. They set some not so great records. Only 19% from 3 and 52% from the free throw lines in Plus League Finals history. That is the 3rd lowest and 4th lowest marks, respectively. We spoke with Ethan Pauian.
就是我们有回去看一下影片，就是好像那个球队不是我们这样。那其实在每个人都在想办法说我们接下来要怎么打。其实大家的士气都是一直很高昂的，所以我觉得接下来对我们接下来的比赛其实蛮有帮助的。其实我自己觉得在 Game 1的时候，大家有点太兴奋，然后整个球队每个人都好像很紧绷的感觉。那其实当然不是我们平常所发挥出来的水准。那对于自己在场上的时候，因为可能在 Game 1的时候犯规有点太多，所以在场上的时候没办法穿针引线给其他队友，让他们有舒服的出手。那这可能也是我在 Game 2接下来的比赛要去调整一下，可能防守的尺度啊，或是看这场的状况这样。所以我觉得就是我们球队都一直在调整的。
So that was Chen before the game. Game 1, as he mentioned, was uncharacteristic of their usual performance. Now, with the final series, they still got the nerves and anxiety, despite them playing recently in the BCL out in Johor, Malaysia. Now, they Xiaobai also mentioned that he'll make sure to have a better gauge on his fouls, as he committed way too many, as he couldn't give the team a better chance to perform on the court, and they're always constantly adjusting. So they did look at film once again, and let's see what kind of adjustments that they make tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, the Pilots signed number 5 Owen Chen. He's a very capable backup, but Erie Communities would rather have the option to go to either guy depending on the situation. Certainly Chen is also a very strong defensive player, and he actually did a great job early on in the regular season series against Archie Goodwin. But the Pilots have a true stable of a lot of good defenders. 3 of their guards were selected in the All-Plus League first defensive team, along with, of course, 2-time Import of the Year and now Defensive Player of the Year, Alec Brown.
Yeah, and we talked about those three-point percentages on the bottom left corner as we take a look at the current active roster for the Taipei Fubon Braves as we are shortly getting ready for a tip-off. The Braves in their light blue kits, Pilots in their white, but you talked about the third lowest ever in a playoffs. I wanted to bring up a date that was the lowest scoring ever. That is April 28th of 2021. That was Game 3 of the playoffs between the Formosa Dreamers and the Taoyuan Pilots, where they only made 4 of their 30 shots. As we have the active roster for today for the Taoyuan Pilots. And speaking of the Formosa Dreamers, a huge congratulations as they had just won their first ever championship title last night.
Pilots were facing off against the Dreamers, both of them inaugural teams in the Plus League. Maybe Chen Jinsong and Yoha Ding will be the 3 officials tonight as the Braves will feature starting lineup with Michael Holyfield, Mohamed Baye out of Zenza University, Archie Goodwin, Beast Lin and Chen Yowei. And on the Pilot side, Alex Brown and Willie Martino, the naturalized Chinese Taipei center, number 12, Jackie Lee, Jiakang, Bayao Chen, and Justin, number 69, Lu Jingxiang.
So the same starting 5 as we had witnessed on Friday night again. Will Artino is typically their 6th man, and he did get selected as this season's 6th man of the year, but we're seeing him getting his 4th game start tonight. As we get started here, Pilots ball. Off to the races we go for Game 2 of the Plus League Finals between the rematch of the Braves and the Pilots, thanks to Lu Jingxiang getting things rolling. For the first 3 tonight, they want to get things started fast and strong.
The Braves under Roger Shu and then last year under Aaron have featured so many defensive looks. It looked initially like a man defense to start things off.
Beast trying to counter Lu Jingxiang's 3 with his own from the wing, but no answer there. The jumper for Xiaobai gets returned back over to sender Yowei. Laying out the gates, no look pass. Here comes Big Mo for the big bucket. And just like that, he tied with Friday night's points made. He's kind of been struggling during the playoffs as he made actually 0 field goals made on Friday night. Artino, valiant effort there, but that was too strong against the backboard.
Here's one of the keys for the Braves. They need to get clean outlet passes and then a clean down-court execution. So many turnovers as that final pass as a bad choice by the Pilots.
Yeah, that was something that Roger of the Braves mentioned halftime and post-game, where they were really struggling and having to prevent committing turnovers on transition. They committed a total of 23 turnovers on Friday. And expecting more from the starting 5. Well, there you have it. Big Mo coming in with 5 points already in the first. Coming up with an up and under. Lu Jingxiang draws a foul.
That was the look that the Braves featured the most, with their big center basically playing a one-man zone and all 4 other players all switching on the outside. So opposite of what they did the most in last year's final with a box-and-1 against Alec Brown mostly, and Justin and Travion Graham, as you see Holyfield just a beat too late. Wow. Baye starting tonight off with a couple of jumpers made.
It's a very good sign. Baye, during the playoffs, he's been logging in 25 minutes, but he's only averaging 7 points per game. Second one is good. That's another huge point of emphasis in tonight's game. Their free throws are so important. Coming down to the finals, the game was really decided by shots that no one was defending.
That's right. The Pilots actually have been living with poor free throw percentage, as we have some confusion now on the Pilot side about this last whistle. Last year, 60.8% from the line is the worst ever, as we see both Holyfield and Artino with some grappling and hugging. Ultimately, the defense pays for it.
Yowei outwards to Holyfield, and there you have a backcourt violation.
That also happened in Game 1 as well. And previously, Taoyuan had the turnover bug in the Ghost Hawk series, but Roger complimented him for making an adjustment. As you see, Holyfield trying to play the middle of the zone while all other defenders are basically all switched. The point is to match up the back end there. Alec Brown.
That's a boost of energy that they're going to need. He only went 1 for 6 from out the perimeter on Friday. And one and done for Big Mo. Send him to the line.
Taoyuan's pick and roll is one of the Braves' best looks. He's shown to be a good finisher. He's developed a three-point shot this season as Mbaye, the recipient there, is trying to fight for playing time because Chen Xiangjun and of course the Twin Towers lineup for the Braves is something they featured a lot more as this playoff run has gone on.
Through the baseline, trying to thread the needle, but that ball bounces out of bounds for Artino. Still Pilot's ball.
The lead official was on it, and the trailer official was kind of far away, so theoretically, the lead official should absolutely be on top of this call, but contention with it here, Artino might have had that last touch.
Some early confusion already for the referees. But the shot clock remains at 16 seconds for the Pilots to convert this possession into buckets. And the largest lead that we've seen between these two teams on Friday was really only 5 points as off the glass into the ring, Alec Brown rounds it up to 5 points on his stats line. Xiaobai with the assist.
Well, the Pilots featuring a lot of man defense right now with Ethan on Archie Goodwood.
Threading the needle there, but Will Artino does not allow entry for the foreign student.
In last year's season, the Pilots had Jaron Jones and Julian Boyd, both more profile as power forwards. So with William Artino in there, have a lot more presence inside.
Interesting to note, in that final series, Julian Boyd did not get onto the roster up until game 4 of the series. William Artino with a downhill pass. Once again, back-to-back buckets for Artino. It was a good look made by Li Jiakang.
Artino was 1 rebound shy of a double-double in game 1. And his combination with Brown is a great high-low look for the Pilots.
And the Braves currently running the zone for AB, putting them through the spins. He draws a foul off of Taoyuan.
That's something that I was surprised they didn't go to as much, with Alec Brown getting a post-up chance against the Braves guards. As good of the defenders as they are, they don't have much chance with a 7'1" Alec Brown with those long arms and a high release point from the posted area.
Lighting checks into the game.
The Braves, in their history under Roger and then Aaron, have featured so many different looks. Back in the inaugural year, and then when Chris Johnson was the finals MVP, they featured a 3-2 with those two gentlemen in the middle. They had a Chen Xiangjun defend a Sim Bular in a small lineup. And then, of course, the famous 7-game series, the first ever in Plus League history, boxing one in all series.
Big Mo faking out AB, but he couldn't get the jumper. There.
Seems like Roger wants a little bit more ball movement. By you can understand, maybe a candidate for the finals MVP last year had the Braves won it, but kind of looking on his own and no teammates in sight, as looks like we have carryover from the first game, some clock situation.
That's why.
Yeah, we're going to need to officially count that ourselves to see how many we could tack up today.
Uno.
Yep, starting off with 1.
Wait, I'm working on my my Taiwanese. That's G.
For 1?
For 1.
Okay.
I'll tell you what the next one is when we get it.
18 seconds on the shot clock. Pilots possession from the parking lot. Lee Jiakang dials in, but gets voicemail. AB giving them another opportunity. Outsized by the Braves within the paint, standing at a tall 7 feet. Downhill for Beast, hitting nothing but net. As we take a look at the bottom left of the screen of finals. This is his last dance after all. In his lifetime, he's played in 23 games in the finals, averaging 22 minutes. Still making quite an impact for the Braves.
For a lot of Beast's latter years, he's been such a good three-point shooter, but that time taking it into the mid-range.
Here comes Alec Brown again. Swish, swish, there goes his second three.
Pilots are not selling from the outside, but they're getting good looks. Early 2 makes from the outside is going to be a big problem for the Braves defensively.
Risky pass towards Holyfield for Big Mo, as we see AB from downtown letting that sail through.
Yeah, if Alec Brown is confident shooting the ball, the Braves might have to change to put a bigger body on him and not get that flexible, disruptive switching action going.
That's right, because as of right now, we're seeing the largest lead in these last 2 games as Archie Goodwin launches the missile for the Braves.
Now Archie Goodwin can make all kinds of tough shots, even with the fence in his face.
Wu Junxiao not quite ready to pull the trigger just yet, but there comes a cheer drop for Lee Jiakang.
As rough as Lee Jiakang's first game was, he made the 2 critical free throws to send us to overtime in regulation.
Bait and switch. Pass to Mo, but the clock gets stopped as they call a 3-second violation on Michael Holyfield. So that's already a couple of turnovers there. As we have ourselves our first break. The score now, 19-12, Pilots with the lead. Stay tuned for more Plus League Finals.
Is on it, burn it, kick it, flip that. 3, 4, baby, more. We gon' get this party started. Let's
谢谢 Pilots Crew， 感谢 Pilots Crew 的表演。第一节来到6分33秒，19-2。各位乘客，让我们继续加油！
You're watching the Plus League Finals Game 2. It's set here at Taoyuan Arena. We are already moving and shaking in this game. As you take a look at the score, well, the Pilots are making it up after a very low-scoring game on Friday night. 19-12 is the current score.
Alec Brown jumping out quickly to a 10-point personal tally. He's also grabbed 5 rebounds. Crucially, the Pilots are defending their rebounds on that side, not giving the Braves a second chance. Meanwhile, on the Brave side, they have just a couple of turnovers, but not the kind.
要主动检视7分08秒，古德温的3分还是2分。
So our crew chief tonight, he is checking the IRS at the 7-minute and 8-second mark to confirm whether or not Goodwin's shot was a 2 or a 3. So as of now, the initial call is 3 points. But they're gonna double check right here.
To clarify the reason for this operation is in the FIBA rulebook and guidelines, officials can only go to the IRS while the broadcast and while the game is ongoing. So during the team timeouts, the officials aren't supposed to go to the monitor. So that's why perhaps at some point during the official break, they kind of thought to themselves, we need to look at it. Well, they need to wait until the timeout concluded, and then they can announce it to the entire crowd. So coaches have some more time to address their players. It is awfully close.
No, but still never touches the line. Just right at the edge. So it still remains a 3 for Archie Goodwin. Again, talking about him being with the Braves the entirety of the season, he made quite a splash with his EASL debut, scoring 43 points in an OT game against Utsunomiya Brex.
The eventual champion Utsunomiya Brex.
That's right.
Yeah, 2 points shy of the East Asia Super League record. Of course, legend Jamal Warney, who I believe is returning to the Knights.
On the baseline, Junxiang over to the corner, intercepted by Big Mo. The hook, line, and sinker drops for Will Artino.
Kind of a lucky bounce for the Pilots, but they'll take it. In game 1, Ethan took a couple of threes and missed badly, and then because of foul trouble, wasn't playing a lot, but still shooting with some confidence. Mo with a good contest. I don't know if he overdid it. Left the Braves vulnerable on the rebounding side.
Goodwin swinging it over, lighting up for 3, beating the clock. What a splash hit. Number 0.
Lighting-in has seen his playing time go down, but getting an early stint after Taoyuan had that first foul. Probably not happy with the ball security that the Braves shown early on.
We got to give credit to the local players from the Braves and KJ came in early in Friday night's game. Scored 13 points as beast mode is turned on for Ling Zijie.
What a great choice of the slogan for the Braves in tribute to their legendary player, a nod to the Bay Area's own Marshawn Lynch.
Funny callback. There, 6 seconds on the shot clock. On the free throw line. Long range shooter's no good. Artino picking it up, back over to Jiakong for the 3-piece! And a shake for Lee Jiakong.
Shaking off that 0 for 9 game 1. Lee Jiakong, if he can knock down some threes as well, selected as the all-plus league first teamer.
Can't stop, won't stop. The threes are raining tonight. 5 for the Braves and 4 for the Taoyuan Pilots. That's going to be Archie Goodwin's second one so far.
And a far cry from the 2-1 start for 6 minutes in game 1.
Definitely, and Alec Brown coming back, revitalizing the offense in game 2. He's already logged in 12 points tonight. The breaks, lighting on, staying up at top. And there, high up goes the shot. Holyfield crawling the rebound. By going over the screen, and here comes lighting up for another 3. 100% effort there for Bayelton, trying to fight for the rebound against Beast.
Beast is arguing that maybe there was a defensive rebounding foul. It really basically comes down to who has a better chance at the ball, and Ethan has better positioning there. As you see, Beast also got tugged down too. Now, thankfully, both players seem all right. Just how the basketball bounces.
Now, luckily for Beast, he supported himself on his good wrist. Again, we talk about how last season in the finals broke his hand.
One of the standouts of game 1 of KJ. Hongkai following up his teammate with a perfect field goal shooting start to a series. More on that later.
So Yankovic, Sun Xiangjun, Jack all also comes into the game for the first time. Trevion Graham also checking in. Andy Dien also for 3 minutes remaining in the game. Alec Brown can't stop or won't stop the import player of the year. A huge difference, as we mentioned, between the first quarter of game 1 and game 2 as they're going to count it. Send him to the line. Archie Goodwin's got the stroke early in this game.
Yeah, three-point shooter is still a dribble drive penetrator, even with only Brown and no Artino, as you see the contest by Chen Jiangshuang. Try to avoid and can kind of have a little argument that Goodwin kicked out, but not one you're going to often win.
Archie Goodwin scored 30 points on Friday, but he was actually held down quite a bit in the first half. And what really had happened was he lived at the free throw line. 11 of those points were made at the charity stripe as Trevion Graham pulls through.
Yeah, Graham trying to have a bounce back performance after going 3 of 10. He's been with the Pilots for parts of 3 seasons. And the Pilots have made the finals in 3 straight seasons. Did we mention that?
I don't think we have, Ryan.
There you go.
Mini is good. Archie Goodwin is hot right now. He's got back-to-back buckets for the Braves. Hand in the cookie jar. And off to the races, the Braves go. Kai Jie for the 3 off target, and Alec Brown crashes the boards and coming through 2-1. Chen Jiangshuang waits for the trailers.
Chen Jiangshuang is very talented, but he is not the best athlete out there, so even in a 2-on-1, slow it up.
Graham with a kick out over to Killer. Halfway in and out, though. Huge difference between Friday and tonight. They couldn't buy a 3 to save their life, while Goodwin tries to knock down another 3. No dice there, though.
Oh, Archie Goodwin having already broken.
Ooh. Graham trying to drain the 2. He draws a foul off of Archie Goodwin. That's a pushing foul.
I was going to say, Archie Goodwin, having set the regular season scoring record and the Plus League playoff scoring record, is also looking to eclipse Michael Singletary, the Braves 3-time champion import, who had 43 points back in 2022. And like we mentioned, is putting on a very good effort on the defensive end. He's not that kind of scorer that, you know, only plays on one side of the floor.
Free throws, I don't think we'll ever see 100%, huh? Will we?
It's a rarity for sure.
Now I also have the lowest free throw percentage, and it's actually a tie, but it's all to the Formosa Dreamers. That's going to be in May of 2023 and May of 2024, and they were both in the playoffs against the new Taipei Kings, where they only made 10 of their 24 free throws. That's 41%. 68 seconds remaining in the first. Off of Yankovic's screen, Archie Goodwin with a step back 3 up top, going high up. Yankovic will pick up his first rebound. Here comes the N1 for Taoyuan. From the baseline, we'll send him to the line.
Yeah, that's the power of offensive rebounding. The defense is out of position, maybe mismatched, so Archie Goodwin the threat. Not a great pass to Josh, but he makes a great counter by maneuvering around Amdi.
And you see the reach out there from the foreign student. Still great, he came off the bench on Friday, playing 19 minutes, scored 7 points, 4 assists. That's 3 points for him there. Get pass back out to Trevion Graham. Couldn't get the friendly bounce as they give a tee to Yankovic.
Just as the Braves developing some momentum. Let's take another look. Yankovic and Amdi tangled up together, and I think the Braves could argue that Amdi might be exaggerating or embellishing, but I feel like you're going to get a lot of those over the course of the game, so everybody's got to keep their composure.
So what was just announced in our PA, from our PA, is that he gets the pushing foul and a technical foul.
That's going to hurt even more. Not to say that there isn't contact on that play. I think the Braves can only argue there's contact for both. Now the free throw bug is catching up to the Pilots, who ran missing 2, and now after complimenting Jackie, missing that last one.
Pilots are now 4 for 7 at the line.
Good math. Almost didn't catch it myself.
The Braves are 1 for 3 before Dian's free throw. We have Leighton checking in today.
Making his debut in this series. Leighton, one of the original members of the Pilots, back when the team formed in 2020. Speaking of that inaugural year, including those Dreamers. That was the only year prior that they made the championship series of their respective leagues.
Yeah, I always said the Formosa Dreamers are always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But just like that, they forced the New Taipei Kings into a Game 7 series yesterday. And they won at home at Intercontinental Mini Dome.
Yeah, we talk about the Braves as 3P champions. They only had home court advantage for that inaugural year, and it was cut short because of COVID. Nice flip.
Or Jack, he'll get a chance at the line.
Taking a hard hit, and Leighton might have been so aggressive he got his own face involved. Previously, Yankovic got hit in the head. But you certainly don't want to go without Chen Xiangjun, who has found his form here in the playoffs. Give another look, and a nice slip with a big going back door. I think that's just head-to-head contact. There's nothing malicious about that one.
I actually thought it was the ball. Oh, you're right, though.
Their heads hit each other, so probably equally painful, to be honest. Not the worst thing in the world for the officials, though, to get another look, because the contact was pretty serious. But based on Leighton kind of putting his arms, his right hand up to contest, the Braves are contending maybe there was a tug, but Leighton's left hand is behind the offensive player, so I don't think that will qualify. Just a very unfortunate foul.
Chen Xiangjun, one of the local players, really contributing to the Braves' win on Friday. He logged in 21 minutes and around 11 rebounds. Efficiency rating of 11.
Chen Xiangjun made all 13 of his field goals in the first 2 games of the no, we can count 3 games because he didn't take a shot in game 3. He's perfect through 3 games from the field. And overall, 81% on 21 field goal attempts as Leighton will head to the bench. Maybe the Pilots putting some offense on for the last 28 seconds by Brown and Amdi in a combination.
Unfortunate for Leighton. Again, we talked about his debut in this season's finals. Then, not even a minute, he's pulled back to the bench.
Part of the reason that was speculated by the Shiban pregame show was Coach Sean and Coach Cho speculating that because Graham and Amdi didn't play as much, and in fact, Amdi did not play at all in Johor, the PLEAGUE, maybe they are not as fresh or not as sharp, I should say. They're probably playing fresh.
And a killer with a killer lay-in.
The Pilots perhaps thinking their 2-for-1 could have came in that 28-second window, but the ball kind of got lost. Now the Braids have last possession if they want.
As our corner shooters, Chen pulling up for the jumper. Short, misses the ring. So that concludes the first quarter of game 2. And we're seeing a much improved showing from both teams. The Taoyuan Pilots with 34, Taipei Fubon Braids 30. So we'll be back after the following messages. Stay tuned for more +League finals.
现在来到的是亚瑟士 Shooting Cam， 被大荧幕拍到的乘客朋友，记得要投出你最闪准的3分球。就是你们，拍到你们了，投出最闪准的3分球，好球！好，投出最闪准的3分球吧！投球，投球！要记得投球哦，投球！我们要进球，好球！ Shooting time. Okay, good, very nice. 好球！哎呦，拍到你们了，乘客，运个球，灌个篮吧，投出最闪准3分球，好球，进球啦！哎呦，这个姿势100分，100分，100分，非常好，感谢你们。最后一组乘客啦。 花式运球一下，进球，好球！最后一组，乘客们拍到你们啦！好球，谢谢所有乘客的大力支持。等一下的比赛过程中，也要继续为领航员加油！
谢谢各位乘客，谢谢若彤。
The +League finals are well underway here at Taoyuan Arena.
First overall pick, member of the Yankee Arc in their first season, Warren Ye-Wei-Jie, taking in the sights. Had a very impressive rookie year of 10 points per game. As a very fresh, still in university level, only 21 years old, but part of the Nansan High School basketball program, which is well connected to the Pilots, so might be some familiarity there. Maybe they scrimmaged against the young man back in the day.
As the season out in CBA is over and many leagues are wrapping up, we should expect to see more players coming in to Heping and Taoyuan to support their peers and watch the finals to get started in the second quarter. Yankovic getting 2 personal fouls in the first, 1 pushing and 1 technical.
Long stretches with Chen way out, and so Zhou is running those pick and rolls.
So Jiang Shuang getting the second quarter start. Unable to drive in, Trevion Grant finds Killer for the step back. Comes up empty though.
First quarter, Pilots had a 16-8 points in the paint advantage, grabbed more offensive rebounds than the Braves. They want to be making those corrections.
We had seen Alec Brown and Goodwin back to their old ways as they're both leading in scoring. Alec Brown starting things hot for the Pilots, scoring 14 points in the first as Michael Holyfield is on the floor.
I'm curious because that's the vicinity where Yankovic put the move on Graham. So but Holyfield end up over there. You see both of them tugging each other.
Very briefly.
Okay, a double foul. Holyfield certainly looks like the aggressor early on, but we didn't see the whole progression of things.
Holyfield oftentimes getting himself into foul trouble in playoffs as well as Friday. And from deep, Alec Brown's shot does not fall. Downhill pass to Michael Holyfield. Too short. And he clears it, and unfortunately it goes over to Pilots. Here comes Graham with a charging foul.
Not a lot going on with that play, just a Braves guard walling him off right in the spot. And Graham probably does better Euroing from outside of the wing, but there he goes baseline instead of going middle. The crowd reacting as if that's pretty close. Jeff Wu sliding his feet. No, this is an offensive foul if you ask me.
Well, we continue on. Braves down just by 2 points. Here comes Yankovic. Reset outwards to Jeff Wu. Woo! Shakes in the three. The threes are automatic tonight.
Yeah, Jeff Wu has seen very little playing time in these playoffs, but welcome sight for the Braves if they can get more scoring off their bench.
And rolling him early into this game. He only played 6 minutes on Friday. So far, we've seen the Braves bench coming through.
This Pilots lineup is a little bit on the bigger side. Graham at small forward and MD at power forward center.
Second, third time, not the charm for Holyfield. He hasn't had any luck down in the paint. Bullet pass downwards, downhill to Andy Dan. Off the glass into the ring.
That's the Pilots transitioning from defense to offense. Ambi doing his best to fight down there. Holyfield not really adept to going with a reverse layup or utilize the backboard as much, so he was left behind as 4 Braves had to defend all 5 Pilots, and there Amdi getting the feed from Brown. Usually it's Artino and Brown working together, but Amdi, I feel like Artino was a great vet to model his game off of, especially Artino working down the weight and then being way more clinical with his finishing and his footwork.
So that was Honkaije's first personal foul as we take a look at Andy Dan at the line. Now, despite him having almost a local status with the Plus League, in terms of FIBA though, because he's not a Taiwanese citizen, he's not eligible to play as a local player. He would be registered as an import. So he had played 0 games, no experience out in the BCL competitions. So that's where, Ryan, you mentioned earlier, where Andy would be coming off the bench in the series as coast to coast, Lee Jia-Kang could not get the finish. Dokurayu shaking off Pilots, but poor handles there, and Xiaobai will make them pay here. Jinxiang with a misfire pass to Holyfield, slowly coming through back to defense.
Yeah, both teams have too much veterancy to be making those kind of passing mistakes.
Pace is slowed down, 8 seconds remain on the clock. Yankovic over to Kaijie with a sidestep, 3, boom, goes the dynamite.
Yeah, before Ryder Shunk, KJ Honkaijie was the reputational corner sniper across Taiwan basketball. His university coach doing the color commentating, and something the Plus League noticed, says University Griffins always play better in tons of ways on the call.
You talked about KJ, 100% on Friday. Well, there you have on the bottom left corner. his numbers. We briefly mentioned Chen. He's now a 6-peat. Is that such a thing? A 5-peat, 6-peat, a 6-peat UBA champion. As we go into official timeout with a score 40-37. The Braves getting the lead as you see a 10-3 run on the road. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more +League finals.
When we have fast break, go, Jackie, you did well. Go to finish to the rim. Nothing special. On defense, they play the two-man game Kia Jankovic, okay? When they play a screen to this side, Alex cannot help too much. 2-on-2. Kia Jankovic. I don't need to help from this side. Help the wing, okay? Hey.
第二个3棒暂停时间到。第二节来到7分40秒。回到比赛场上。
Welcome back to the +League Finals Game 2 here at Taoyuan Arena. Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen presenting to you Game 2. We take a look at the Game 1 series, or Game 1 wins. The trend, Ryan, want to talk about this?
Now the Braves lost all 3 Game 1s in their 3-peat quest. First to the Dreamers at home, and then to the Lioneers and the New Taipei Kings on the road. But the Pilots have not won Game 1. They took last year's title by winning 2 straight, Game 6 and 7 here at Taoyuan Arena, but they fell to the New Taipei Kings in 5. The caveat being they won Game 2 against the Kings by 20 points. And PLEAGUE rather proud that the Pilots not too far behind in the overall points department as we see a special guest from the Basketball Federation in tow.
We get things started once again.
Pilots really not getting into their sets offensively, kind of rushing shots, only 1 field goal here in the second quarter. Meanwhile, the Braves are taking advantage of the fact that the Pilots are trying to actually get switches back to get Alec Brown on Steph Yankovic for the most part, and the Braves have made them pay.
They're choosing to reserve Archie Goodwin later on in the second, as the whistle comes immediately for Zhou Guiyu. Sideline referee quick to catch him.
Yeah, Josh just approaching and attacking just at the wrong time, as Justin, in that split second prior, is going to a left-handed dribble drive.
And Alec Brown with the pick and pop! Goes the weasel. To look at threes he's been dropping. He is 3 for 4 now. A lot more efficient in today's game as it turns it back over to the Pilots, and here comes a wall-to-wall finish for Alec Brown. That is Zhou Guiyu's second foul, sending Alec Brown to the line.
Good job by Justin on that last defensive play. This is called the veer back steal, where you're chasing the big and put your hands up to contest that pass. Not a good enough feed from the Braves guard, and down court, the Pilots. And the good old Pauian scheme, always about the fast break, as we take another look at Artino screening for Brown, and a miscommunication by the defense. Timeout Braves.
He's not going to
the
do
lead just like that as
there.
we listen in.
So we always have to be a little bit collapsing and ready for the rebound. I need it. 像刚才是对方的阿提诺这边就不要出来守啊，他这边要下场是那个不让要出来，所以我们应该在这边去守，不让他出来，不会有人去守他，他在这里面。阿提诺到外面都不要理他，他一定都会go shoot 那个 backside。 所以右尾帮我在这边 ，4、5，阿奇，凯杰帮我在这边，对，再对低一点哦 ，Go， 对，包过去，凯杰，如果你的人挺耐，凯杰，没有问你，没有问你啊。1、2、3、4、5，搭赛你在这边，啊，你在这边，对这边要行动，不要 stupid foul，来 ，Go。
Roger taking over from his #1 assistant, Aaron, was at first they called executive head coach, and then to start this season was the head coach, but not satisfying enough record. And Roger took over, led the team to a 6-win and 1-loss finish, prompting into second place over the Ghost Hawks. Of course, Roger has not lost a series in the Braves +League history.
Yeah, it just goes to show how important it has been to have his experience coaching these players, as Aaron only led them to 6 wins and 15 losses before Roger Xu returned on March 20th. A Goodwin returning back into gameplay as expected. Halfway mark, almost at the halfway mark in the second. Pass nearly getting intercepted quick. All change back over to Kai Jie, and here comes Chen Youwei charging through for the midi, and Jia Kong on the floor gets called the foul.
I want to see that sequence again. It's kind of hard to imagine Chen Youwei flying in there to try to get off a buzzer beater.
That's a call.
I mean, Jia Kong might be moving a little bit, because the key is, as soon as Chen Youwei leaves his feet, is the defender set already, and there's just the smallest window would appear that might not be the case. So Yurgi, after seeing it, maybe more encouragement for his defense than the officials.
So, again, we're on the Braves on the road, so we're hearing the Pilots fans making as much noise and distracting Youwei as best as they can, and they were effective this first time. Let's see if it works the second.
Chen Youwei missed all 4 free throws in game 1. The 2 to end regulation, and 2 to at least give him a 3-point lead, but it turned out to be moot with a contested rebound getting bounced around in the last 2 seconds.
Must be a huge, had a huge sigh of relief as the Braves just barely getting the win on Friday. And the foul comes for Michael Holyfield.
And that's why you want to have Ethan as available option. The way he crossed up the defender, attacked the paint, and a good feed to Travion Graham, as we see Baye just a little out of position. Very close to a block shot, and Baye, the only non-pilot on the +League all-defensive team during the regular season.
You talk about the Pilots dominating in the awards. GM of the Year, All-Defensive Team, MVP going to Jun Xiang. And Coach of the Year for Yurgi Caminos.
Yeah, 3 straight for him.
3 straight for him, and 3 straight for Lu Junxiang. There's no one to contest with, but I will say somebody that's dominated in all 6 seasons is Mr. Popular. That title always goes to Ling Zijie. So the question is, after his retirement, who's going to take that rightful place? Midi is no good. Off target for Archie Goodwin, but Michael Holyfield clears it for the leftovers. His presence is absolutely key for the Taipei Fubon Braves. He's corralled 6 offensive rebounds, giving them more opportunities. Trevion Graham put the lid on it.
Braves switching defenses, that sometimes leads those closeout against the could-be shooters, but Trevion Graham, one of the best floater makers.
Archie Goodwin for the fadeaway. Dials in and he gets the answer. Got 13 points so far, and Trevion Graham digging in deep with a scoop pass over to Andy Dien. That's why the mic and drills are important for our young viewers.
The Braves are contending that MD was under the basket for quite a long time. Taking a look at Beast, maybe some embellishment. Graham is a decent bit stronger than he is, but you're right, that right hand should be an and one if you've been doing your, as you pointed out, mic and drills. How would you like to be underneath a goal for 10 minutes every day, looking straight up?
I did that one summer 2 years back. Not every day, but I did do the mic and drill for like 15 minutes every time I was on the court. I actually didn't hate it.
It's almost like a one-ball juggling act. So some variants of the mic and drill, you have one basketball in each hand. That makes it a little trickier. It helps to have bigger palm, longer fingers, as some of us do and some of us don't.
Not all of us are highly blessed and favored. I was going to say, Andy Dien is first time at the free throw line in this series. Tonight's game, he was 100%, but there you see 4 for 5 now. Archie Goodwin trying to force the 3, and Andy Dien charges in for the board.
One of the first times this series, or this game, I should say, that the Braves were running that kind of board set as weird out of bounds there. Archie Goodwin dancing all the way out to the jump circle while the conference by the officials confirm Pilots basketball. Appears like we will have a challenge by the Braves.
Very briefly, we saw in the second quarter the Braves outscoring the Pilots, where they managed to get the lead, but just like that, Pilots still ahead, 3 points. We'll take a look at the monitor here.
See, there's some tugging of Trevion Graham's hand, but with that not being called, it does look like Graham was the one that influenced this out of bounds. Because if the common foul is not called, you really can't then administer it on the video replay in the FIBA rules. So it turns out to be a smart challenge, and the Braves get away with a holding foul. The reason why I say that, because it's hard to imagine Trevion Graham just, besides slippery fingers, the butterfinger a ball out of bounds like that. So, unfortunately, just a missed call for the Pilots. They're just going to have to use a baseball term and eat it.
I will say one term that I would love to use on a basketball broadcast, but definitely has no relations, is grab some pine meat. There's no pine, unfortunately, in basketball. Yankovic guarded by Andy Dien, shaking him off from up top. The 3 is good. Down the hatch it goes for Yankovic. 48-all is the score.
Yeah, bad defense by Justin there to chase the penetrator. He was already supposed to be peel switch onto Yankovic, who is also good shooting big.
LeGround putting them in the spins. Knocks down long 2.
Beast, Nick King, and Zokoyu took turns as the man marking Alec Brown in last year's box and 1 scheme.
Little opening. The Braves still at it. Here's Yue up top. There's back-to-back threes for the Taipei Fubon Braves. Bagging these threes like groceries.
Yeah, the Pilots will look back on the film. Missed opportunity on the rebound after just a mistaken defensive assignment. So Pilots have some work to do.
Under 3 minutes in the second quarter. There's a skip pass over to Trevion Graham. And out, Alec Brown. Long wingspan getting the rebound and the finish.
This time it was the Braves that were kind of lulled to sleep there by the offensive rebounding.
Alec Brown already with 24 points in this game. Second half, the Braves will have to figure out how to suppress him. He's currently leading on both sides. Here comes Wu Jinxiang's three. Refuses to fall. Good one. Gets picked up by his teammates.
Anyway, part of his great performance was knocking down 3 threes in game 1. He's got a reputation as not a good three-point shooter, and yet in the regular season as good as 34% from outside. So can't treat him as a non-threat, especially when he gets to walk into one right on the edge of the arc.
Roger Hsu really awarded Chen Yue with minutes on the court. He is the local player for the Braves to play the most minutes on Friday, 40 minutes total. And as you mentioned, Ryan, in terms of making those threes, he was 3 for 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chen Yue was playing so good, but he was starting to cramp in that game. It might explain the missed free throws. And Roger in the postgame admitted, maybe I got to do a better job managing his minutes. Chen Yue now with a couple of braces on his lower leg, maybe to manage that possible cramping situation.
Archie Goodwin not as efficient in the second quarter, but he heard me talking. And he puts a lid on my statement as he bags another three. 16 points, he's 4 for 8 from out the perimeter. Playing for the entirety of the second. They could not convert points there, but they bring it back. The pendulum swings. Graham with the scoop too strong. Will be sent to the line.
A crazy back and forth with Beast trying to contend that there was a kick ball before the Pilots got a whole possession while they go search for Yankovic's contact lenses. And maybe from me, because part of the rules about kickball is it has to either be intentional or has to affect the play. And on that particular situation, the ball was already on the bounce, kind of in between, as unfortunately Yankovic collateral paying for the foul, and now got a contact situation. I believe he's located it.
Well, you need some lubrication for those contacts, as it looks like they're still looking for it. Not sure if he has a spare one in the locker room, as you see Graham's left hand hitting into Yankovic's right eye.
Well, that would not be the ideal way to lose a rotational player if Yankovic doesn't have any spares. He hit a big three-pointer in game 3 against the Ghost Hawks. Redemption for having that last second play not go his way. The Braves' only loss of that first round series. Back-to-back seasons, the Braves defeating the Ghost Hawks 3-1, with the seeding being Taipei for the higher seed and the TSG Ghost Hawks, Tainan the lower seed. Though National Tsinghua University got their first taste of playoff basketball.
Yeah, Graham at the line. I remember Was reminiscing the other day, TSG Ghost Hawks playing in that university gymnasium. I can't recall the name of it right now. But it's a huge improvement to where they are now. And during the Braves and Ghost Hawks series, East Asia Super League and Plus League announced that they have extended the invitational or allowed eligibility for Ghost Hawks to participate in next season's East Asia Super League campaign.
I think this is a good choice, and you know, if you don't call your timeouts, you lose them, but a good chance for Roger to maybe out of their expected rotation, Yankovic out, settle things down, and they're already pretty hot on offense. Already 11 made threes by the squad against the 5 by the Pilots. It's a big reason why the Braves are strong in this one as we listen in.
You always go 被动，对这边 stand quick， 这边打完之后拼上手臂，所以2个。So when you go, maybe he will switch shadow to edge the ball. 可以，右位1、2，杰哥 ，and screen。每一波都打这个，最后1分钟都打这个，来，出棒 ，1。
Tying up a handoff situation for Lin Zijie. Beast.
Let's go, lock in.
Grabbed 5 rebounds in game 1, but is looking for a little bit more scoring punch in the starters role. Meanwhile, the Braves' best plus-minus belongs to Steph Yankovic with a +12. Hopefully we'll see him again at least in the second half.
Yeah, instead of sticking around at the bench, he was quick to walk back to the locker room. So, hey, you know, maybe we'll get a chance to see him return within this quarter. 1 minute and 18 seconds, still a lot of time of gameplay for them to hold on to the lead or for the Pilots to tie it back up. Big Mo, not the most physical, but it pulls the trigger and hits the target. Right square in the middle.
Yeah, not only a turnaround jump shot, a fadeaway turnaround jump shot over Alec Brown.
11 points for Mo today. And Graham loses it upon launching the shot. And here comes Goodwin. Driving down, Holyfield misses the jam. Baseline referee.
The double foul. Well, the only good news for the Pilots is no free throws. We'll see about the possession, though. Right now, arrows pointed for the Pilots, because the foul was called as the rebounding situation. And I guess no, Beast comes down with it. It depends on if they call it before or after that catch.
But both teams are in the penalty. The referees will take a look at the IRS to determine the possession. Double foul was given to Andy Dan and Michael Holyfield.
To reference the Wushiban, the cram school of Plus League YouTube. Coach Sean pleading that the officials let Amdi and Holyfield kind of go at it with physicality. I can understand calling a foul there, but we already have 2 double fouls, and it's a little bit tough to take from an officiating standpoint. Somebody's initiating the contact.
Yeah, we already saw them being quite physical with each other in the first quarter. We saw Holyfield tugging, yanking at Dan's jersey, trying to fight for the rebound.
报告，根据 IS 判定，双方犯规的同时，勇士队掌握到球权，勇士队球。
So after the review, the crew chief calls it Braves possession.
foul. It's the same guy, he fouled twice and you call twice double foul.
The advantage for the Braves to hold on to their 5-point lead.
I feel like the Pilots' offense is getting a little stale, though, so a little bit more ball movement and player movement might benefit them as the Braves have their own stable of very good defenders. But more on that later.
Baseline pass to Alec Brown, but was couldn't stop his momentum there. Lost the ball out of bounds.
Pilots disguising their baseline out of bounds defensive coverage with Owens jumping at the last second at the ball.
Ball gets squeaked out.
Trying to play a fast one on the Pilots, but a little bit too much mustard on that pass.
And you talk about the offense being a little bit stale. The last field goal was made by Alec Brown for the fadeaway 2 at the 2.5-minute mark. It's been a minute, literally and figuratively. Chen Shuang turns the favor back over to Justin. Over to Alec Brown, coming down the lane, over to Jiang Shuang. 3 seconds remain for the 3. No. Call is left unanswered, and Braves will get the final possession here at the second. Sidestep here is Beast. Beast mode not on. But the Taipei Fubon Braves, they get the lead for the first time in the game and managed to hold on to it in the second quarter. Jurgi Caminos is still having a heated discussion with the referees as we conclude the first half with a score of 58-53.
好，我们场边现在访问到的是许定哲总教练。先来讲一下今天在投射的部分表现的还不错，然后整体的进攻战这个节奏满意吗？
其实我觉得冠军战应该是防守战嘛，比较像是昨天的比赛，所以礼拜前天的比赛，所以我当然希望我们球队要回归到防守面上面，因为博朗第一节就已经看上半场打完就24分了，所以我们在对位他，不管是他或者其他被切、被快攻上面，真的要防守上面要做好才行。
对，特别点名到了博朗，在上半场已经24分，除了他之外，球队有哪一些地方在下半场需要去做改进的？
当然，不管是守他这个点啊，还有对方的反击的速度，然后我们自己希望，因为命中率这个东西是上半场好，不确定下半场会不会好，这是在我们自己这边。然后我们唯独能够做好，就是如何去停住对方的进攻。
好，谢谢许哥，谢谢。休息一下之后回来。
不为谁低头，不
掌声谢谢 P.LEAGUE， 谢谢 P.LEAGUE 带来的中场演出。好的，来到我们中场游戏的时间啦，稍微玩个游戏，轻松一下。
今天要玩的游戏呢，叫做今天骰。
焦灼的赛事，我们台南补习班这边马上把上半场最精彩的几个 play 带过来给这边跟各位介绍哈。OK， 首先呢，领航员做好了准备，开赛第一球第一个 play， 我们看一下发生什么事。一个双下挡了以后，接着呢再做第二次的双下挡。OK， 看似平凡，我们看看其中发生了什么奥妙。我们赛前讲过了，勇士 X1 到 X4 全换 ，OK。全换的过程中，对球的换，无球的也换。那么，当这边第一个掩护发生了以后，第二个掩护，这两个人换了。古德温、莫巴野，一个是后卫，一个是中锋，所以这个换防马上形成莫巴野要守到谁，卢俊祥射手沟通不清，这不是他擅长的，形成一个开阔的空档。没错，第一球就是这样发生的。好，接下来第二次的发生在第二节，勇士也有所准备，也开始调整了。这一次这两个人，他们不换了，不换的话没有办法把莫巴野带出来追射手，怎么办？马上不打这边了，利用 ball screen， 马上打 pick and roll 攻击莫巴野，对球挡，莫巴野又换防了。小白做了什么事情？小白把他拉开来攻击他。有上半场领航员很针对莫巴野，只要一换防就从外面突破到心脏地带，协防轮转没什么用了。所以我想这是领航员上半场进攻端针对换防最大的改变。没错。
好，下一组 ，OK， 好，这个勇士呢，用他们最熟练、最完整、最有耐心的打法啊，是这个 flex，OK， 好，这里是个头，这里是头，这里是脖子，所以呢，他的战术代号是这样，
所以是割喉啊，
割喉，
哇塞。
脖子，所以边运球，这样子哈，割喉。他有4个手指呢，就是陈右尾要投篮，割喉完是陈右尾啊，陈右尾是4号，陈右尾投篮。OK， 好，这个战术呢，它就是在高区域跟低区域不断的纠结，互相掩护。低区域产生机会，没有高区域产生机会。我建议呢，国中、高中的球队可以多练习这个打法 ，flash 的打法。这个打法呢，在基础的训练里面，或是学习战术的青少年朋友呢，可以在这个战术的精神，可以学到很多的战术的文化。OK， 我们看一下啊，首先是这个地方，先割喉咙头的下部，哇塞，没割到，走。看有没有机会 ，OK， 接着割喉哈，再走，2人一边，3人在底，好，接着没机会换防，好，球传回来，好，停，谢谢，再停到这里来哈，好，割喉没有产生，换什么？换针头戳了，
放血吗？
放血了，哇塞，开始放血，
太狠了吧？
针头戳进去
，OK。
Go，
继续放血，
放血戳进来了，OK， 所以是一个非常残酷啊，非常酷的一个战术啊。
对，所以比赛也打的肢体碰撞越来越凶悍，越来越残酷了。接下来我们就进入广告，回到下半场，拜拜。
Welcome back to Taoyuan Arena, where the Taipei Fubon Braves against the Taoyuan Pauian Pilots in back-to-back Plus League Finals. We're at Game 2 at halftime. The Braves actually jumping ahead to take the lead, 58-53. There's the first half stats: points, field goal shooting, three-point shooting, rebounds, assists, and turnovers from top to bottom. There's a lot of offensive rebounding so far in the game, and that means more chances for fast break counterattack, something that Coach Roger referred to and said that was a problem for the Braves, as happy as they could be in the first half offense, for the team shot 48%. Roger saying that you can't count on good shot making all game. And then some of the notes I wrote down, while the turnovers by both teams are relatively under control, they're coming a lot from non-ball handling import players, so keep an eye out on that. Meanwhile, the Pilots defensively are very much packing the paint and sometimes sending their wing defenders inside as well, leaving Braves shooters open on the outside, hence their high percentage in the first half. As now we give the floor to Aaron Yang-Zhenlei, who will be interviewing Irgi Caminos in a brief moment. One final note, a lot was being made of the free throw percentage of the Pilots in Game 1, while the Braves in the start of this one only 3 for 9, while the Pilots actually above board 12 for 17, or about 71%, as finally Aaron has caught Irgi courtside, and there we go.
场边现在为您访问到的是 Caminos 教练卡总。Okay, coach. Now it's 5 points behind. What kind of adjustment that you should make for the second half and come back to take the win?
I think that the key of the first half was on their three-point shot. They got 11, except 2 after rebound. And also most of them are like dribble jumpers. I think that we contest. They make really tough shots. I think that we have to keep being solid there, a little bit better maybe, to don't allow these shots, the advantage they took there. And offensively, try to have a little bit more rhythm, especially moving the ball. Once they want to switch, triple switch, collapse, to be able to have better shot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
好，我们刚刚访问到卡总的是，现在5分落后啊，下半场该做什么样的调整啊？率先讲到了，就是说对方的3分球太准了，已经投进了11颗，所以必须在防守上面多做一些加压。那再来呢，在进攻端他们的节奏还是找不太到，也很明显的只有博朗一个人在得分啊，所以他们需要想办法球的流动多做一些，然后在进攻端找到自己所有的节奏。我们现在把时间交还给主播台。
我们早就准备好了。凤凰城欢迎每一位勇敢的开拓者。若你开好，等你来探索。
球迷朋友们缓缓的回到座位上。下半场比赛很快的就要开始了。
You're watching the Plus League Finals. As we see here, Kevin Connolly, as well as Steven Zhang, they are a part of the CBA Loong Lions. Their season just ended. They're out taking a tour, doing some work in the off-season, watching the finals in both leagues. As we get things started back here at Taoyuan Arena for Game 2 of the finals, the Taipei Fubon Braves, they take a late lead in the second quarter, up to a 5-point lead for the Braves, whereas the Pauian Pilots, well, Alec Brown is hot tonight, 24 points, but the only player in double digits in scoring for the Pilots, as Liu Jinshang with a fadeaway slides off with nothing to show for Artino up against Holyfield playing bully ball. Successful there in that possession.
Looking down at the box score, one reason Roger might be concerned with how his team performed in the first half. Despite having the lead, the Braves with only 9 assists to the Pilots' 14. So the Pilots' defense is doing a good enough job matching up, but the Braves' shot making was better. Meanwhile, on the Pilots' offensive side, they certainly look very stagnant because the combination of Graham and Amdi resulted in -11 and -12 on the plus-minus respectively.
Big Mo with a Euro step. Finds the ball into the hands of Liu Jinshang. That goes in and out.
That's one guy that Yergi and the Pilots want to get going. Justin, 1 for 8 in the first half. Took a lot of forced shots, really not in good rhythm. And the Braves know to really contest his shot hard, as he's got the biggest heart with the Pilots' local scores and import scores. This time taking on Beast. Thankfully, everybody landing safely.
And not too far off from how he played in Game 1. Again, it was a slow start for him. Eventually became the lead scorer for Game 1 with 26 points.
And when Justin starts to make shots, the Taoyuan crowd really reacts to it. So when they come in the second half, that's like double the momentum.
Yes, we've got some time before it hits 7 o'clock. And for our local fans, that's when Ye Wang comes out, or Night King. Ding Zijie pulling up for the 3 and shakes in the three-point shot.
Yeah, Beast was already catching some rhythm in the first half. Had 5 points on 2 of 4. Always like to start him off in the first half and then the third quarter while he's warm.
No dice there for the Pilots. He's had a legendary career here in Taiwan. Had its retirement ceremony out in the Taipei Mini Dome. Oh, guarded by Artino. They don't got much time. 2 seconds remain. Here's Big Mo beating the clock, and he certainly does. Forces one in. Hold on to the lead.
Great patience. The Pilots perhaps jumping on those shot attempts too quickly, allowing for some dribble penetration.
Liu Jixiang charging through for the gamble with no avail, and Big Mo's shot gets sent back with interest. And they still call it Braves ball.
Second personal foul, kind of an excuse me foul, as you see Artino and then Justin try to jump the Braves would-be shot takers, but Mbaye beating the shot clock.
Starting things off from the baseline. Yowei for three in the corner. Killer shot for Taoyuan.
That's the biggest lead for the Braves coming out of the half. Good shot making continues.
Taoyuan 2 for 3 from out the perimeter. And now with 7 points on the score, as Michael Holyfield will pick up another rebound, and here's a wall-to-wall. Taoyuan finding Goodwin in the corner. And it seems like the Braves have really trying to build more momentum. Very clear foul there on Archie Goodwin.
Not a bad foul there with the Pilots having numbers down court.
You see the reach around from Archie Goodwin there.
Challenge, you foul. It's clear, you foul. It's clear, you foul. Hey.
So we got a coach's challenge here.
Hey, Jack.
At least on our second look, appeared to be a common foul, though I guess the referees might determine that Goodwin might not have enough reach because he doesn't even get his left hand really even toward Xiaobai's elbow. You need to get all the way to the hand for the reach around steal, but fouling there, it's starting to become 50-50 territory.
No, I think it's with a 50-50 call. I keep it as a common foul, as once again we see the reach around here, but it doesn't make hard contact necessarily on Xiaobai.
Yeah, I don't think the severity of the contact's really in question. In fact, a little bit of embellishment, but the matter is, like, could he reach for the ball?
So a crew chief indeed keeps it as a common foul. So an unsuccessful challenge for Camino, so he's without any more challenges tonight.
He's not trying to play the ball. This is your foul. He's not touching anything. He wants to stop the factory.
Despite
this is your foul.
The failed challenge, Caminos is still going off on the referees. And really, this is kind of should be the time where the referees should put a stop to it.
No, it's not the chance. It's not the chance. This is your foul.
I think it's up to the referees, though, to give a good enough explanation at the same time.
Sure.
Don't say anything.
There's a time and place to put your foot down, and I believe Caminos has had a lot to say. But we continue on. Pilot's ball. Well, you got a foul call there. It's going to be on Ling Zijie.
As impressive as he's played in his final, say, 5 seasons, definitely has a disadvantage trying to slide those puppies when Justin is going full bore.
He got the ball! It's clear! Don't worry, I want the tech, don't worry. I don't care if I have a tech. It's a bullshit!
There you give a warning, and only a warning to the coach.
Trying to contend that Justin was attempting to start his layups.
Second time does not work out for Liu Jixiang. Skip pass over for the 3. Oh, halfway in and out. Tough break for Beast. Made a 3 early in the game, but on a little cold from the outside. It's catch and shoot for Junxiang. High up and down low. Score now 66-60. Junxiang finally rounding up to 10 points tonight. And they call an offensive foul. Correction.
I didn't talk to him. I didn't talk to him. I talked to myself. I talked to myself. No.
So a correction there. There was a foul call on Xiaobai, number 30 from the Pilots.
His English is not enough good. I didn't talk to him.
Well, again, even with the warning, Caminos is still fired up, walking back and forth between his bench and as close to the referee table.
That's a pretty close legal or illegal screen. The contention is how they call it, whether it was established as a foul. I see only one Pilots as a team foul. The only time Irgi has been thrown out of a game, the Pilots did take away the victory in comeback fashion behind a first-year interim coach, Yang Yifeng. It was actually a mistake by Justin to say he never won before.
There's a hook pass to Michael Holyfield, and coming through with a monster jam to bring it up to 69 points on the Braves. And then here is Pilots' 69. Nothing to show for those. Basket refuses to fall for the Pilots side. Big Mo with a big bucket. Ice in his veins. And just like that, he signaled a timeout, and the Pilots, in fact, do call for a timeout. They got to stop the bleeding here as the lead. Braves are holding on to the biggest one as of yet, 72-60. Oh, what Jurgi Caminos has to say to his bench, and we will be right back with more Plus League Finals.
Pilots Go Round 的时间啦！想要获得空姐们手中的达美乐披萨兑换券吗？赶快跟着前面的空姐一起跳起来吧！
You're watching the Plus League Finals, Game 2 here at Taoyuan Arena. Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen here with you, presenting the English broadcast as Jurgi Caminos calling for a timeout at the 7-minute, 38-second mark as the Braves are outscoring the Pilots 14-7 in the third quarter.
It seems to me that Justin, the team captain, took on Jurgi's frustration and tried to play hero ball, stopped multiple times with layups and runner attempts, and the Pilots had to pay for it with the Braves hot shooting continuing.
This is what we saw in the second quarter also, the Braves having a 10-3 run, and now we're seeing just that in the third. Luo Junxiang from the wing, still no dice.
One key too is even with Artino and Brown inside, the Pilots have not picked up any offensive rebounds. Leaves hands the first one in the quarter.
There's a curl-in handoff to Michael Holyfield.
That's awkward, a travel call there.
Yeah.
Maybe it felt more awkward than it was.
Also, it felt like a late call.
Taking a look, he kind of establishes bumps. Okay.
Score remains 72-60.
Let's see if Owen in the game will provide a little bit more scoring punch.
Graham, too short from the corner. Braves send it back over. Setting up another screen for Goodwin. He swings it over, outwards to Wang Yo. So Yoe, direction, hand in the cookie jar. What a gamble, and paid off for the Pilots. Alec Brown pulls the trigger and hits the target. 4 for 5 tonight out in the perimeter.
It didn't look pretty, but with the sharpshooting Alec Brown playing trailer, that three-point shot is impossible to match up on for the Braves. So the Pilots finally get an easy look here in the third.
They need it. They need to find Alec Brown. Is from the field. He's shooting 81%, and he charges through and says, "Take a seat." Loose ball, but the whistle comes. So it's the foul call is on Justin.
Initially, what a great defensive effort by Brown, knowing that Mo, with a mismatch, would go right at the smaller defender inside. That baseline cam did not give us the angle of possible foul or not. It might be ball by Justin. It just looks awkward with Mbaye flailing to the ground.
Luckily for the Pilots, they've only got 2 team fouls as of right now. Pumping the brakes, Archie Goodwin. Line drives it earlier, but he couldn't pick up the leftovers. Graham outwards to Alec Brown. And Pilots get another break as Jack will get called the foul.
Yeah, good entry pass by Graham with Alec Brown. Despite falling away from the basket, deep enough positioning, deep enough of a threat, and then Chen Xiangjun resulting in a foul as Justin will head to the bench. He's had a rough third quarter. The last call foul, maybe not so much, but when you pile on top the start of his quarter offensively and defensively, it's understandable that this break comes at a good time.
For 2.
Alec Brown's playoff high was 26 points in last year's finals.
With those free throws are made, Brown returns to the bench. He'll get a breather with Artino returning to gameplay. But just like that, quick to return, he's also quick to get a foul. That's his third one tonight. See his right arm reaching outwards to Jack. Unfortunately, swipes him in the face. Goodwin with a hook pass, intercepted. And a risky pass outwards to Trevion Graham will bring it back over to the Braves. That's going to be a turnover on Pilots. Loose ball here between Lee Jiakang and Archie Goodwin. Jump ball.
The Pilots starting to get deflection, starting to wreak some havoc against the Braves offense. You see Jackie pursuing the basketball, not even pursuing a better defensive position against Goodwin, who's a little bit loose with a handle. Ends up with a jump ball. Arrow for blue. Pilots really need to figure out this alignment with Artino and Graham in there if they can generate some offense.
.501 left in the third quarter. Clock is counting down. Yoe pulling up for the long 2. Nothing set up to make points there. So it looks like once again the Braves are running their box in one. There's a kick out to Killer. And down the hatch it goes for the three. Again, the Pilots need to revitalize their offense. And they certainly have done so, as they're only down 4 points now, 72-68.
Guan Dayo hit a big three in Game 7 of last year's finals. As Coach Aaron admitted, he was a guy that they intentionally left open. You see Archie gambling with Artino starting to make a move on Yankovic. And on that strong left hand, I really don't blame him. But Guan Dayo has been improving his three-point percentage year on year, and with a wide open look, actually underneath the break, making it a lot easier. And the Pilots, as poorly as they played in this third quarter, can make a lot of headway here with 4.5 to go to reverse those fortunes.
And the timing could not be perfect for Guan Dayo. This is his first three made in the finals. He was 0 for 4, or correction, made one attempt on Friday, didn't make it. Let's see if we can listen into the coaches.
The only thing that's really not playing out to what we expect, Game 2 winners have had an average winning margin of 16 points per win. As no Plus League Finals has started 2 wins to none. And considering, as you mentioned, the Pilots undefeated at home this season, it would be a big surprise if they could not defend home court in either of these games.
Yeah, you mentioned even earlier before we were on call that they were also undefeated in their international competitions, EASL and BCL. Defeated out in Tianmu, as well as here at Taoyuan Arena. And from the parking lot, Zogurier's three does not fall through. Coming through with a run and gun. What a finish. A valiant effort there by Chen Jiaoshuang as Killer clears it. 5 points in for Guan Dayo coming off the bench these last minutes. Poked out of bounds. It is still a Braves ball.
Right now, the Braves offensively playing on the back foot. As you take a look, Yankovic jumped there by Guan Dayo. Unfortunately, originally had a rebound to his name. I don't know if the scorer's table might issue him a turnover, as the Braves will give Archie Goodwin a break.
Yankovic also trying to buy a foul from the referees. As you saw in the replay, he lost his contact late in the second quarter.
Braves been stuck at 72 for a long time since that timeout by the Pilots at 7:38.
Made a remark to Ryan, not on the broadcast, that it might have been too little too late for that called timeout, but what do I know? Their score is now tied thanks to Will Artino. Yankovic shaking off Li Jiakang, and Holyfield will draw a foul.
I think both sides are unhappy with the result of the Yankovic versus Jackie contact. Definitely one of those tricky situations that there's a holding situation, but Yankovic kind of tries to counter spin it. You see Jackie reach right down the middle. I think that is not the worst no call, to be honest.
Both seem to be can be seen at fault. So there we have Michael Holyfield being sent to the line. That's going to be Artino's 4th foul.
See if they can finally break this Pilot's 12-point scoring run. They have built up so much resiliency in their conquest to be East Asia's best team in multiple campaigns.
That's right. You're supposed to participate in BCL after the P.LEAGUE finals, but FIBA as well as BCL officially announced that they're going to delay playoffs even further down to September, early October.
Those two missed free throws are a momentum builder for the Pilots.
Holyfield not a consistent free throw shooter, and he swats that out of next week.
Holyfield has certainly been an impressive help defender, and with Yankovic in there, somebody to tie up Will and Martino.
Back out to Chen Jiangshuang. 5 seconds through Beast and Holyfield. So the basket falls short. Yowei pumping the brakes. Finds Yankovic, and Trevion Grant will be called the foul.
He's the second play in a row. He's the second play in a row.
Last several minutes in the third quarter.
I think the Jackie hold is way more understandable because Jack Hong was reaching from behind and got to Jankovic's chest, but in this last one, like Graham was beside Yankovic, not coming from behind. There still is a distinction. Let's see if finally these free throws will end the Pilot streak.
Either way, neither team seems to be very happy with the calls made by the referees, as we saw players from both sides arguing with the referees before Yankovic's free throws. But unfortunately, free throws are still a struggle tonight. Yankovic missing the first. He's usually pretty consistent, 72% in the regular season, 86% during the playoffs against the Ghost Hawks, as well as game 1 on Friday. Yankovic been pretty quiet and scoring in the third as Jia Kang hits the backboard a little too hard. Too much juice there. Tripped up at the sideline once again. That's Artino's fifth one.
He's too far. We don't need to do this.
Oh, he racked up 3 fouls in this quarter alone.
Not a smart move by Will Martino with his foul situation to approach the basketball. Even if he might be right, he got a hand on the basketball, you're putting yourself in a dangerous position to get called for a foul. Either slide your feet, just contest the pass or a shot. As it looks like the curse of the left side basket is emerging. A byproduct from Pilots and the Taoyuan arenas in years past.
And no friendly bounce to be seen. You saw the stats line, 5 for 15 for the Braves, now 5 for 17. Whereas the Taoyuan Pilots you're seeing a mass improvement. They are 16 and 21. 76% at the free throw line tonight.
Well, the Pilots have had 3 straight possessions that they've not come away with any scores. Let's see if Alec Brown returning to action will change that. Braves in that one-man zone again.
Jia Kang threading the needle over to Owen. High arc. Couldn't find the pot at the end of the rainbow. Hand pass, bullet pass over to KJ. Bodies hit the floor. He's just slowly getting back up. They'll call a pushing foul on Beast.
It looks like both guys are okay, as Chen Jiansong was trying so hard to not fall on his face. Let's take another look. Beast just catching Owen going up for the rebound. Yeah, the referee's got to call that contact there with Chen Jiangshuang falling out of bounds otherwise. And now for the Pilots, let's see if these free throws will end their scoreless run.
I saw earlier, they've improved from game 1. Again, they only hit 51% of their free throws.
Let's not go back here.
As I mentioned before, combine the Braves and the Pilots missed free throws. Well, let's say 31. They could have scored 31 points. So we mentioned in game 1 free throws at this point, well, they require a wing and a prayer to be consistent. The last minute is winding down for the third quarter. Taipei Fubon Braves, they had upwards of a 12-point lead just to drop after the call timeout by Caminos. Tap in does not fall. We send it back over to Pilots. Graham with a downhill pass. Quick handoff. And Alec Brown from the corner with nothing to show for in that possession. Comes up empty.
It's not a bad look for the Pilots. Alec Brown initially had that mismatch, then went to the corner where he catches shoot opportunity.
8 seconds remain. Wants to play hero, but unfortunately loses it to Xiaovai. And an unwise foul was made there by Chen Youwei.
Previously, we said that the Pilots were over jumping when Mbaye made that floater. Well, this time it's Chen Youwei not time up his foul, as maybe the referees want to go to the monitor just to double check if the foul occurred before or after the buzzer. And I think they would be right to give it a look at least, because
very reasonable.
Did end as the referee was putting his hand up. Let's take another look. It seems to me that this foul should stand. It's pretty obvious. Yeah. There's still time on the clock and the red light doesn't come on.
Yeah, you don't even need to look at the clock. The light outlining the rim will say otherwise.
What a great defensive stop by Guan Dayo on Beast. Guan Dayo, also a 6-year member of the Pilots, has been playing Beast for all that time. And Guan Dayo has always been one of the sturdiest small guard defenders.
Camino sent him coming off the bench in the third quarter. Scored 5 points, so helped them shake off the yips that they had early in the third. And I gotta say, Guan Dayo was quite effective in guarding Archie Goodwin in the first half of game 1.
报告，根据 IS 检视，时间还有0.5秒。
So according to crew chief, the clock has been adjusted to 0.51 seconds.
Okay, so they're checking the clock time. That makes sense. That's also a good little detail officiating. The Braves would have a very tough task to try to score from all the way across court. Another look at, there's the contact right there before Ethan even clutches for this shot. So it makes sense that there was a lot of time left. And talk about trying to get every inch. The Pilots also have Owen to substitute in if Ethan makes both free throws.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves there, Ryan.
I should say if he makes both free throws, the second one in particular.
If. 18 free throws made by the Pilots tonight.
Ethan did not even step up to the line in game 1.
Did not. You can't say he contributed to the free throw percentage. All right, Pilots need that.
Things go to plan. They can bring in Owen for whatever their reasoning. Try to defend this 0.51 or full court play.
Well, like clockwork, Yergi Caminos does send him in. Jankovic over to KJ. And they'll just let the clock run. Again, we saw the Taipei Fubon Braves carrying a lead for quite some time, but the Taoyuan Pilots, well, you see their experience in the finals. They come back with the lead, 75-73. We will be right back with more Plus League Finals.
但是更重要的是，以往的每一场球赛，我们都跟飞行员并肩作战，打出回忆。这个球季最后一里路，让我们一起飞完它。Let's go Pilots! Let's go Pilots! Let's go Pilots! Let's go Pilots! Let's go Pilots! Some noise! 全场站起来 ！Club 桃园 Pilot Station 第4届决胜节，我们来一较高下 ，Come on！
You're watching the Plus League Finals. We are live here at Taoyuan Arena. This is the last home game before we get sent off to Heping Gymnasium. The Taoyuan Pilots, they squeak by the third quarter, taking the lead back 75-73.
From the 7:38 mark to 2:10, the Pilots go on a 12-0 run. Otherwise, it would have been a 15-10 quarter for the Braves. And maybe they're feeling the pressure, only going 2 for 7 from the line. They really needed those free throws kind of to halt the Pilots' momentum, get back on the board, and find a little bit of confidence. And maybe by bringing Archie Goodwin and Baye along with Beast, this might be the Braves' better lineups.
Yeah, Mo showed some spark in the third quarter. But again, things got turned down quite a bit. Shot was just shy. But another chance. And here's Graham with nothing. But he comes through, charging in too strong. The second time. 100% effort there from Ling Zijie, trying to save the ball.
Interesting that they're going to bring Martino in with only 30 seconds coming off the clock. And as you saw, Martino picked up, as Marley pointed out, 3 fouls. But that's partly because Braves are bringing in Holyfield.
Yowei with a mismatch in size, out of bounds. It is Braves ball.
The Butterfingers there. Maybe the Pilots got sick of having the basketball.
No such thing. Off of the screen, Archie Goodwin with a hook pass. Back to Holyfield, and the slot referee calls for a foul on William Artino, and that is it. for the naturalized player. A risky decision for Caminos to send him back in.
Well, the Pilots contend that the offensive player was engaging in the contact. Well, there's a bump there. There's a little bit of a wrap with the right hand. Good play by Amdi to knock it off the rim. It is legal once it touches the rim, as long as it's above and not inside the cylinder.
The kick out over to the top. Blanked. The three refuses to fall for Mo. Nothing set up for the Braves there, so it goes back to Pilots. Alec Brown, fade away. Hot potato, hot hands between Pilots and Braves with the Braves. Carrying it back. 2 minutes in. And air ball for Lin Zijie.
I was definitely wondering if it was a possible partly deflected block.
Right.
That was so off. And let's see if enough rest is, or Justin will get him some energy to score on offense. The Pilots really need if they can't go to that Artino-Brown two big man combination.
Question now is who's going to start things off in the fourth? Neither one has scored.
Not good spacing as the Braves are collapsing in.
3 seconds counting down. Block shot there by Archie Goodwin, and off to the races he goes. And Xiaobai stopping him in his tracks.
Not do the drive for the two guys. Play the
That will be his second foul.
Now again, Justin getting a shoulder into Goodwin, but a little bit too early as he then took another step and then the desperate layup. And of Justin's missed shots today, I believe 3 of them were blocked. A very high number.
Beast will get a breather. Saw the hand reach in for the cookie jar. And he finds Yowei, keeping the bank open. And he cashes in the 2.
Good spacing by the Braves, and Yowei attacking the gap.
Alec Brown with a quick toss up, and Amdi Dan draws a foul, send him to the line.
Yeah, somehow Michael Holyfield ended up all the way on the ground. Let's take another look at the physicality in between the two of them. It could have been that there might have been a slip there. Well, too late joining the picture now as Amdi with a chance at the line. There's a good playoff foul by Taoyuan. Not allow an and one.
That's Yowei's 3rd foul. Again, Andy Dan forced to return to the game after William Artino came back into the game 30 seconds into the 4th and unfortunately got his final foul, graduated from the game. So they are without him for a whole 9 minutes.
Amdi second on the Pilots with 7 rebounds, and they're going to need a lot more if they want to pull this one off.
$77-75 now.
A little bit of a kind of modified pistol there.
Double team pushing Yowei in the corner. It's still Braves ball.
Don't forget, Ergi used his challenge.
Now, 2 referees are at a quick chat.
You have to go, please.
They will look at the IRS on their own as there seems to be a disagreement between the two.
Well, after a hot start, Alec Brown has gone pretty cold here in the second half. 1 for 5 from the field. But again, I can't really fault him for it. He's putting in work on both ends of the floor. Has 5 block shots in this one. It is quite close. The last to touch.
但是他碰完之后，他的手有没有戳到？因为他的手是在这里。对啊。然后放大。你觉得他最后有戳到吗？
Mo.
Yeah, Mo has inside position. He's got pretty long limbs too, and Alec Brown's hand does come away from the play.
给他了。好，带裁判哦。
Do in fact change the call. So good on the referees for taking a look at the IRS on their own.
Okay. Well, let's see if they could take advantage. The Pilots' offense has been really easy for the Braves to lock down.
Low scoring fourth quarter. Here's Guandayo for the 3. Greases the cylinder for the Pilots. And that's their first field goal in the 4th.
And over the contest of Archie Goodwin.
2 threes for Guandayo tonight. Giving them the boost of energy. And the points needed, and there's a turnover off to the races. In, does not go in. Archie Goodwin chasing him down. Bring it back over. Taoyuan away for 3. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. He gets a 3-piece. He is 3 for 6 tonight.
That's how you know you're a confident shooter, to take one in transition. But Archie Goodwin, with as much as we compliment other guys, the block of the game.
Crashed into the board and paid off quite well as Xiaobai beats the clock and cashes in the 3 like blank checks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Amdi not usually an assist man. Not a great bounce pass, not a great catch, but Xiaobai makes it work, and that's the magic happening out there for the Pilots point guard.
Finally getting the Pilots fans loud, even louder than they have been.
And the Pilots are turning up the defensive intensity now.
Let's see if Justin can turn it up a notch, and he certainly does. And that's like that. Forces Roger to call for the timeout. The local players having themselves a run over the Taipei Fubon Braves in the 4th.
Just as that chase down block and a counter 3 by the Braves, you gotta figure the Pilots were losing some momentum. They locked down even harder on defense and hustle for rebounds, hustle for loose balls, and Justin, even coming in a little cold, knocking down that transition 3. Timeout Braves. We'll be back after this.
暂停时间到，回到场上。6分57秒，第4节86比78。各位乘客，让我们继续加油！
Things have taken quite a turn here at Taoyuan Arena. And look at that, it is 7:22. Night King is alive and well here at Taoyuan Arena.
Look at the sequence of three-pointers by, as you mentioned, a Pilots locals. First, killer Guan Dayo on a good contest, then Ethan not on a clean catch, and hasn't touched the basketball much here in the fourth quarter, but adjusting and walking into one. And after the Braves were held to the lowest quarter scoring-wise in the game, 15 points in the third, only 5 of 18 shooting. Well, guess what? 5 points through the first 5 minutes here in the fourth. That is not going to do it.
Quick response for the Pilots too, because again, William Martino is out of the game, so you're losing protection in the paint. So those 3 threes could not have come at a good enough time. Archie Goodwin launches. The missile is off mark though.
Pretty good look for Archie Goodwin. Had the height advantage and was contending. There was some contact on the shot, but Amdi does a great job pulling down the board, making it a moot point.
The screen, here's Xiaobai with a kick out. AB, still cold. And a misfire pass, a lackadaisical pass from Michael Holyfield will make the Braves pay. Guan Dayo, you are a bad man tonight. He scored 12 points coming off the bench tonight. Game 1, it was Chen coming off the bench, causing damage, 14 points. And as I mentioned before, Guan Dayo, really the spark plug for the Pilots.
A lot of it comes down to effort, and then add a little bit of 6-year veteran savvy for number 6.
Can't stop, won't stop, killer. He is on a streak right now. A serial killer at that. 14 points now for Guan Dayo up top. Yowei putting a lid on it finally for the Braves.
Foul on the rebound once again. Holyfield and Amdi tied up, and are they going to take? I think they are going to still count this 3, but Holyfield a rebounding foul on the lockout, as you see Guan Dayo driving at an empty basket. You see, shot goes up before the foul, and I think they got it right. Holyfield has his right hand on Andy's neck.
Both teams with 2 team fouls. Braves down 9 points. Junxiang to Chen Jiaoshuang. Blocked off by Chen Yowei.
Chen Yowei, one of the best shot blocking guards in Plus League.
Jankovic returning to gameplay, but unfortunately that's going to be a turnover and a free throw opportunity if it's a shooting foul.
This is the best demonstration of the Pauian Pilots basketball under Irgi Cumino's. Very aggressive guard play on defense, swarming all around, switching, getting hands in the passing lane. And then, like the Pauian team of yore, attacking in the fast break.
Took them 3 quarters.
That's why coaches talk about starting things on the defensive end. You take away your opponent's scores, and depending if you're a rebounding team or a steal-grabbing team, get a chance to attack with numbers on the offensive end.
Oh, Lu Junxiang after those free throws. He's got 15 points on the board.
This is a 1-import lineup for the Pilots.
Running more on offense there. Nothing to show for. Basket does not fall. Junxiang before he slips, and more free throws for the Pilots.
Yeah, the Braves are starting to panic a little bit on defense as Beast kind of in the unfortunate position of being the last man to block out Andy, committed his 5th foul. But you see Josh digs down, and then Yankovic steps up, and oopsies, accidental fall, and meanwhile Beast dutifully trying to bump down on Andy, but Andy had a better position for that rebound, as awkward as it looked. And hopefully the attendant dried up the floor enough, because there are a whole bunch of bodies as a result of that play.
The human effort, as I like to say. Jiakang definitely had a lot of slippages game 1.
I'm glad it's human effort and not the floor getting nervous and sweaty, as it was the first couple of years here in Taoyuan Arena with this brand new floor by the Pilots back then, custom made.
Who knew what panels would sweat? Gnarly humidity in Taiwan, well, not unexpected anymore. You see Holyfield and Andy again tangled up. It's been happening all game long.
Both teams, both sides have an argument over a situation that happened. You see Andy engage in the swim move, then Holyfield try to hold him off. I think the referees dove in so early. Get another look at Holyfield directly go find Andy's left hand instead of just gently spinning out of it. A little bit of a break for the Braves. They need all they can get.
For Andy, anything to get under his skin, I suppose. Yankovic, denied entry, finds Yowei for the can-to-can curl. Return back to sender, though.
And another rebound for Andy, this time of the brush variety, but however the Pilots can get stops, hold the Braves. They don't even get to 90, well, they gotta get to 93 to make this count, but if they're not even gonna approach 90, this is game over.
Certainly Chen Jiasong off of Yankovic's leg.
Kind of lucky. I thought Owen might have landed on the floor for a traveling violation.
Caught it just in time. So it's still Pilots ball at 14 seconds. Oh, returns back.
Along with Archie Goodwin. Braves need a major shakeup of the energy.
Oh, and Goodwin really showed their firepower in the first half. But kind of stifled in the second as they call jump ball.
That's not a horrible result for Justin, considering he was destined for a travel. He is, according to his media day report, only playing at 90%. Now, I would assume most guys are only 90% out there, but Justin was dealing with some fatigue in his leg. I believe a hamstring fatigue. That's why he did not finish the season until returning to the last homestand of the regular season for the Pilots. Rehab and get right.
They have the luxury of being placed at the top seed once again as Yankovic yanks in the 3. But they still got work to do.
First field goal for the Braves since Chen Youwei's 3 at 5:22.
Travel call for Chen Jiasong. Got a little bit too ahead of himself.
Very much a decoy kind of false step there, as we see Andy. Not a bad slide of those puppies. Stayed with him, contest, and cleared his feet from any possible foul. And Yankovic, as he said, wanted to get square. He feels like a super confident shooter from the outside even.
Off of the screen, Archie Goodwin's shot refuses to fall, and coming in coast to coast is serial killer Gwen Dayo. Really the difference maker for the Pilots tonight, as we have ourselves another timeout call.
Right now, the Pilots are evolving from the good old cornflakes to frosted flakes, the way that they're able to navigate the difficult times even with a little bit of a comeback effort. And they're showing their class here in the fourth quarter. Long rebound, 3 pilots ahead, and an unselfish Xiaobai with Amdi providing the screening in the middle. That's the perfect way to get him home.
This is the team that deservedly gets time and time again exposure on the international stage. You talk about back-to-back appearances in EASL. They're now eligible once again and also showing up for BCL competitions. Thankfully for them, they're really putting Taiwan basketball on the map as we take a look at Guandayo's highlights tonight.
Killer Guandayo in Irgi's rotations prior has not played that much time, but as Irgi has proven, as any player that works hard, shows smarts, and most importantly, defends at a high level, they can find themselves some playing time. You see Guandayo, he scores the basketball, but he's also given a great effort defensively and with loose balls. Finally, another fast break layup. And pushing the Braves to the brink. One thing about Irgi and the pilots, actually only 1 and 5 in one-possession games in the playoffs and in the finals. So when they blow teams out, they're the confident team.
Yankovic contested, and it's good for the 3. Both sides unhappy. Pilots wanted to get the charging foul. Yankovic getting contact. Either way, the game continues on. Braves down 8 points. Again, Guandayo with the touch. He scored 14 points in the second half, and Alec Brown with the scoop. Thankfully for him, he's been cold in the second half, but the local players have come out strong and swinging hard. Yankovic loses the ball, but he draws a foul. It's going to be on Andy Dien.
Not a great foul by Andy. I know you're afraid of the Yankovic shot, as that might not be the worst no call, the Yankovic and Ethan contact, because there's kind of both of those guys running into each other. Now let's see the Guandayo contest. That feels like some kick out to me, so it's okay if you ask me on that no call as well. Maybe not the best foul by Andy though, with Yankovic already blowing by him. If he makes the layup, the Pilots can take it out and burn some clock real quick. Even if he makes the layup, and instead, a couple free throws, the Braves have a chance to establish their defense. It's a 3-possession game with 92 seconds left.
Yankovic very consistent at the line. 2 for 2. They need any point that they could get. As it's down to the wire, 80 seconds left in the 4th.
It's a traditional 2-3 look.
Curlin is too strong for Justin. Big Mo for the big bucket. Temp is no good, but here comes Beast. Trying to find the Beast within. There's another foul on Andy. That's his 5th one.
Oh, it's Alec Brown actually with the foul. Andy, I think it's flashing 5 on the scoreboard. Oh, maybe I'm correct. I'm trying to figure out whose foul it was, because Brown was the one that reached down for it. So maybe we need to clarify the situation.
Yeah, because what we're seeing right now is the scoreboard at the arena. The foul is flashing on Andy, so that usually means that was the most recent foul logged in. For Alec Brown, he's got...
Yankovic, the Braves are chipping away at this lead.
So, from our PA, it is called on Brown. So it should be updated to 4 fouls for Alec Brown tonight.
And a 10-point run by Jankovic. All the way back at the 3-minute mark. So the Pilots need to have a good possession and need to score the basketball with 3 for 2 on the table. Looks like personnel changes incoming.
Juan, Justin, weak side. Alex, down. We go. We play 3, like against zone. Go to Juan. Alex, step up. Trey, you roll. Do short roll a little bit, okay? Yeah? Okay. 5. Sorry. Trey, screen away. 5, screen away and Justin on the back. Okay? Hey, every foul is bonus. Run back. Andy, be ready to serve you on trivial to have more rebound, or maybe on a wing, okay? Go ahead. Hey, inbound regular. Regular. Back. Right, now
Well, unfortunately for the Braves, it might be pretty easy to play them right now. Steph Jankovic on a 10-point run. Prior, who was Taoyuan, who had the other 8 points. Crucially, though, it makes it a lot easier for the Pilots to defend. But the Pilots similarly have not had much success offensively since that Guandayo layup.
Upwards to Graham. And it's free throws.
And a horrible backcourt possession by the Pilots to dribble toward that coffin corner sideline, then float up a pass right in the middle of the floor. Not good basketball fundamentals, as it was Baye who looked like crashed the party. Well, not the worst thing in the world to foul Travion Graham. Although tonight he's been serviceable, because coming into these playoffs was on the naughty list with only 50% in the regular season.
Back out in the perimeter, pulling up for the 3, making the impossible possible. That was a tough shot to make for Jankovic. And again, arguing that he didn't get the foul call. Just like that, they closed the gap.
The stoppage is because both teams, or at least the Pilots, had timeouts incoming. Meanwhile, it looks like a 3-point shot to me. So Steph can make those high degree of difficulty floater threes.
Well, it seemed automatic because the sideline referee immediately pointed 3. But we'll take a look at the monitor as well. Okay, that would be a big bucket for the Braves.
And this comeback by the Braves, led by Jankovic, because the Pilots, looking back at the play-by-play, have only missed 2 shots all this time. Also check the time, 37.17 looks accurate to me. Plenty of time if the Braves want to go with a kind of trapping defense, whether an 8-second violation or a 5-second held ball violation. Look, Ethan try to back away, and he's quite close with that contact, but since the referees didn't call it, too late.
And they do indeed confirm it's a 3-point bucket.
Jankovic has leapfrogged to the leading scorer of the Braves tonight. And funny enough, the Braves have 3 players make 4 3-point shots.
So Ladies and gentlemen, we still have ourselves a game with the score now 96-94.
I still have to go for a score because they can't ice out the clock. Up by 1 possession. If they're up by 2, it'd be a different story. 2 possessions, that is.
13 seconds counting down from the shot clock. Xiaobai over to Lu Junxiang. Gonna hit the nail in the coffin. Night King shuts them down, says nighty-night to the Taipei Fubon Braves. Getting the crowd going here at Taoyuan Arena.
Yeah, Justin must have been looking at his box scores because 0 for 9 from 2. And, clock check, it's 7:43. It was a 2-point shot, but my point was, ended up going with a dribble pull-up move from a near 3-point range. And there's a 2-possession lead that the Pilots wanted back. And Archie Goodwin, again, a good defender, but needed to really sell out that defensive stop.
Chen of the Pilots looking onwards and very proudly of his investment as he signed several Pilots into long-term contracts. That includes Lu Junxiang, Bai Yaochen, Li Jiakang, Guan Dayou. One more on the top of my head, but we'll take a look at the highlights.
Yeah, throughout this 4th quarter, it's been the Steph Yankovic show. Raining into threes when the Braves desperately need it. And also knocking down all 4 of his free throws to give him a prayer, but the Pilots building themselves a good cushion in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yankovic 100% at 3. There's a reset back with a kick out. Here's Sobey for the 3. Off mark, out of bounds. Braves still with 3.06 seconds remaining. The crowd is on their feet now.
Not a bad look for the Braves. With patience. Only 3 seconds left. They need a miracle.
And there's no fouls.
Basically, just don't give up a layup.
So we're lobbing it over to Yankovic. And there's a Hail Mary off mark, and just like that, the Taoyuan Pilots, they take game 2 of the 2026 P.LEAGUE Finals here at home. They lose it in overtime in game 1, and they fought hard in game 2. There you see the 3rd quarter is where things really went awry for the Taipei Fubon Braves, particularly thanks to these couple of locals here on the screen. Lu Junxiang, Li Jiakang, Guan Dayou, and Xiaobai.
Now the Pilots outscored them starting in the 7:38 mark with Baye hitting a 3, putting the Braves up by 12. Now, credit to the Braves and Yankovic. They do stay in the ball game, unlike we've seen so many Pilots opponents take a big lead over Orange, but Orange, with revenge, end up winning by double digits on many occasions. By my count, 9 times this season between the P.LEAGUE and international play that the Pilots have made that 20 or more point turnaround. And at the end, as long as you get the dub and at least salvage a series split here at home before they actually move to Taipei Hoping Gymnasium. And credit to Justin for having the heart to take that shot in the end, despite, and I think still rightfully so, an overall not so efficient scoring game. But as long as, again, as long as you get the dub, Justin just knows when to step up and shine in his moment.
That's right, as we see the final score here, 98-94. It's a, as you said, Ryan, it's low-scoring games back-to-back for the Braves and the Pilots. Well, there's a positive that the Braves managed to hold them down below their points per game average. And luckily for them, they return back over to Hoping Gymnasium next Wednesday night. The Pilots ending their homestand on a high.
One thing that emerges from the box score. Archie Goodwin held scoreless on 0 of 4 shooting in the second half. Definitely circled his 16 points in the first half and thinking, hey, he's on pace for more than 30 points. That's gonna be a problem for the Pilots. And yet, they're able to lock him down and force the Braves to play with Yankovic and Holyfield for a lot of the second half, which is a lineup that does work. But again, limiting your opponent's options increases your own chances.
Yeah, and this is to say Artino fouled out Alec Brown. He scored 0 points in the second half. So despite that, we have player of the game here. Looks like it's shared between Lu Junxiang and Guan Dayou. Guan Dayou in tonight's game coming off the bench, just blitzing the Braves. 16 points tonight. Lu Junxiang, again, underperformed in the first half, scored 17 points overall.
Let's go!
好的，那我们现场呢就要来访问一下2位今天表现非常出色的。俊良先来好了，先来讲一下今天这场比赛从落后，然后一直打到第4节才逆转，那个心情上面的起伏。
这2场就是打得非常艰难了，对，那我们还是展现我们的永不放弃的精神，对，那最后关键能投进那颗球，其实还蛮感动的。
讲到最后那颗球，原本的设定，可不可以跟我们来分享一下？然后最后投进之后，又比那个招牌动作出现。
其实就是前面有很多不必要的失误，然后就是在每一节在不断的调试自己，对，然后最后面进了，其实自己也蛮兴奋的。
好，那麦克风给达佑来讲一下，你们在上半场掉了58分，可是下半场只掉了36分，防守上面是怎么样的改进，然后让他们对方得分没有那么顺利？
就是团队的防守嘛，然后教练在中场的时候，其实跟我们说了很多，然后我们可以就是更团结在一起打球。
好，那第4节，因为你的那记3分球拉出了一波13-3的攻势，你也是全场正负值最高的球员，来谈一下今天自己的表现。
是很感谢有今天的表现嘛，然后其实也为自己感到开心。
对，今天现场刚刚有一度是大喊你的名字，有没有什么话对所有的乘客说？
就是很感谢球迷，然后进场为我们加油，然后我们会继续努力。
麦克风麻烦帮我还给俊强。 最后一个问题要讲到了，这2场当然乘客的支持很重要，可是 Game 3、Game 4要到客场去作战，准备好了吗？
我准备好了，那我相信领航员的粉丝也准备好，因为我们不管是客场、别的国家都看好你们。
热烈的掌声给2位进来的球员，关达佑、卢俊祥，谢谢。来，请2位呢来帮我签名，来一个麦克风，
谢谢磊哥，
谢谢。
球场之后，也请2位在地方回到场中，不要来签一个我们平常的练习球，送给现场的朋友。各位尖叫声要准备好了。在写完名之后呢，邀请大家打一起握住这个球。 可以吗？位置可以吗？位置 OK。3、2、1， 耶！好的，现在要请俊祥跟达佑送给现场的乘客，你们决定要往哪里丢，交给你们了。
2个人的签名都在上面哦，乘客们尖叫声！
掌声送给卢俊祥、关达佑。
恭喜俊祥，恭喜达佑！
好的，各位乘客，线上的乘客，你们也在看吧？橘色是我们的信仰，让我们一起捍卫我们的主场。谢谢前方的朋友，谢谢右方的朋友，谢谢后方的朋友们，谢谢。谢谢左方的朋友，谢谢你们。好的，回到前方，若彤。
谢谢大家今天的热情应援，陪我们奋战到最后一刻。相信今天的比赛，大家一定觉得非常的精彩。那之后的比赛呢，也要邀请各位乘客们号召你们的亲朋好友，还有各位朋友们一起进场，一起支持领航员拿下这次的冠军。
谢谢大家，回家小心，拜拜，谢谢。
As we wrap things up here at Taoyuan Arena, again, another low-scoring game, but the Pauian Pilots come out strong and they get the win to tie up the finals, 1-1.
Man, these two teams have a lot in common. They mirror each other. They want to convert defense to offense, but the Pilots were better in that category. By the end of the game, the Braves commit, as you see, 19 turnovers. That means 10 more in the second half. So Roger has to be beside himself the way this team did not correct that part. Now, I would argue that, is it their mistakes or is it the Pilots absolutely selling out, as led by killer Guan Dayo, who shared the post-game interview and the post-game signature. And it's pretty crazy to think that we have two so opposite games. Today was a little bit of a three-point shootout with the Braves, as you see, 19 for 45, or good for 40%. And the points in the paint, still Pilots lead 34-22, as you mentioned. That's without Willem Martino able to go the whole way, fouling out of the game. That's with Andy doing his best to battle Holyfield. And once again, the Pilots stable of defenders. I think this game led by Ethan, once again back matched up on Archie, hold him to only 16 points. The Braves will sure want to correct that, as we have the upcoming game 3 and 4 on your screen, Wednesday and Friday nights, both at 7 p.m., the home of the Taipei Fubon Braves.
Lots to look forward to in the finals. And again, we have yet to see a final series where it went 2-0. So let's see if the Taipei Fubon Braves get the home court advantage.
They're sure going to look for it because the Pilots are 3-0 at Taipei Hoping Gymnasium during their regular season. Their only loss to the Braves, that beast-inspired Taipei Arena game when the Pilots came back for some international travel. So the defending champs show their mantle, but I'm sure the three-time champs, with still members left on the Braves team, are looking to have a good effort. They did take the 3-2 series lead in last year's finals after all. And with Roger back in tow, I'm sure it's a very buttoned-up program once again.
Most definitely. And we want to thank you so much for tuning in to another Plus League Finals match. We'll catch you Wednesday night at Huping Gymnasium. Taylor Chen and Ryan Chen signing off. Take care, folks.